Good morning and welcome to our brand new studio. What do you think? It's kind of gorgeous, isn't it? I'm probably going to be like putzing with it for a while, but I think it's pretty good for the first recording studio I've ever put together. And so I'm so happy to have gotten you guys out of my bedroom. I'm not gonna lie, it was great, but it's not that kind of show. It is a divination ceremony. So most definitely not that kind of show. I'm going to be revealing stuff, but not quite like that. Hi, how have you been? It's been a hot minute because I took last weekend off to help my child come home. So we moved my oldest across the country to Weird Brook. So I've been focusing on that, and I absolutely love having my child here. It's so great, and you will probably end up seeing more of her because she's very much my little witchling. Okay. So we are doing a divination ceremony right now. This is a divination ceremony that is specially curated for neurodivergent, black sheep, cycle-breaking queerdo witches, where we're asking specifically, where does our attention need to be today in order to bring the most expansion in our relationship with our life and our practice? I know it's very wordy, but it's supposed to be specific. And it's important for you to keep in mind that I too have raging ADHD. Okay. So put your boots on. This is going to be a wild ride, as it always is. You will be participating in this divination ceremony. I am committed to helping you repair your relationship with your intuition because I don't have time for you to become dependent on my relationship with mine. We all have access to the same information. We're just interpreting it through the lens of our own perspective, and we are supposed to. So the way that I go about this divination ceremony is a little bit different than what you are accustomed to due to the nature of the work that I do. And if you're like, what? What do you mean by that? We're actually going to be launching a new podcast. We already have one going that is Wisdom in the Weave, and we're about to launch a second podcast that's going to be on both Spotify as well as YouTube. And that is going to be called The Rise of the Wayward. And that is all about the work that I'm doing, the work that our coven, international coven of neurodivergent witches are doing, because it's a lot. And we have not had a way to really communicate that in the last 5 years, as we have been making all of these really big moves to create systems of mutual aid. We even launched our own app space and everything. So there's a lot going on. We're going to dedicate a whole podcast, a whole weekly podcast. We're going to do it once a week. And just to keep everyone in the loop as far as all of the things that we're doing, not just in the community, but also here at Weird Brook. Weird Brook is a 200-year-old 80-acre homestead in rural New England that functions as a temple and sanctuary for an international coven of neurodivergent witches. We do rituals here every full moon, every new moon. It's a temple. It's every single day is a religious practice. It's a whole thing. So, and it's not going to be just me. I'll be joined by Morgana, who is my partner and co-steward of Weird Brook. So we're going to both be kind of keeping you in the loop about it. think that's it. There's also so much enrollment for our autumnal class through Foundations, which is our initiation program for initiating into the coven, is open. So enrollment is open. Classes start in September. So you want to, if you've been waffling about it, the window's about to close and enrollment won't be open again, or enrollment will open for the hi. Did we just go black screen? That was fun. Apparently I'm playing peekaboo with you guys. At least on my end. If it's not like flashing for you, I think that's hilarious. All right. Getting used to my new comfortable chairs. All right. I'm going to start by taking 3 deep breaths. Then I'm going to do what I do to get my system prepared for divination. You do what you do. It doesn't have to look like what I'm doing. There is no right or wrong way to do this. There is effective or ineffective. That's it. Anything else is just a distraction. So let's do that. And then we're going to be pulling 2 tarot cards. You can also pull cards. I'm going to be pulling for the collective, and you are going to be pulling to dial it into your personal flow, your personal unfolding of your life. Okay. And you'll see that there will be witches putting the cards that they pull in the comments. It's an opportunity for us to be able to see that we are a lot more connected than we've been made to believe. And it's very common for us to start pulling the same cards or cards that are telling the same story, just in a different, through a different lens. So there, you ready? Your markets at go. Let's do this. I humbly invite all that is fire within this system to witness this working. And if alignment is found, may you choose to bless this flow. I humbly invite all that is air within this system to witness this working. And if alignment is found, may you choose to bless this flow. I humbly invite all that is earth within this system to witness this working. And if alignment is found, may you choose to bless this flow. I humbly invite all that is water within this system to witness this working. And if alignment is found, may you choose to bless this flow. I beckon to this system. May we now align as one. For my cousins are the elements, and so the moon love me. You are welcome in this space. For our nature is united, sharing magic, life, and grace. Of intention. What are we doing? Why are we here? So repeat after me. If that gives you church camp flashbacks, you don't have to, but I choose now in this moment to align with my whole self. To pull the book that tells my story from its place upon the shelf. I enter now this circle made of trust and hope and power. And I show up for my practice in this place and at this hour. Because I am home. Okay, let's do this. It's a very small space. And that's some really good incense. So I got muted somehow. My thank you, Morgan, my hero. I got muted somehow. My laptop is, I don't know, 8 feet away from me. So that's fun. Shuffle one more time. I should put my glasses on. Yeah. That's so strange. Hold, please. One second. Should be on the Yeti. What's the Oh wait, audio. Here we go. Here we go. There. Can you hear me now? Hello? Can you hear me now? I think you can. All right. So like I said, my laptop is a good 8 feet from me, and all of my settings just changed. So that's fun. Are we ready to do this? Thank you, Morgana, for saving us again. All right. We drew the Two of Wands reversed. So this is the card. I don't know if you can see that anymore, but here we are. I'm going to read the prompt that's on the card. This is the Tarotorial deck by Raven and Rogue. I am going to read directly from it, so I'm not going to influence your initial interpretation of what this card means to you. Then you're going to sit on it for a minute, and then I'm going to tell you what I'm getting from it. You're at a crossroads. What do you want? You're reluctant to venture into the unknown despite the vast potential. Refocus and ground yourself. Remind yourself of why you're here, and be sure to move with intention rather than inefficiency. And the upright, because it's about the whole card. You've been hit with a spark of inspiration. Now you must figure out how to turn that fire into action. Be sure to lay the groundwork before blasting forward so that you don't stumble over your own feet. Let your intuition guide you. So, what do you think about that? You need me to read that first one again? I'm going to read it again. You're at a crossroads. What do you want? You're reluctant to venture into the unknown despite the vast potential. Refocus and ground yourself. Remind yourself of why you're here, and be sure to move with intention rather than inefficiency. Okay. What does that card mean to you? If your guides were using that card to communicate a facet of your relationship with your life, what are they talking about? All right. So I say this frequently, that these readings don't exist in a vacuum, right? It's been this whole journey that we've been on together with this new sun. So since December-ish. We've been talking a lot about, and I will talk frequently about, like, what do you want to do? What do you want to do with this life? What does a life that you are proud of look like for you? Right? I'm not saying, I'm not talking about what do you want to do for a living or how you want to make money. I'm talking about uh, how do you want to invest in your life? And this year has been a lot about this dream that you have. Yes, I know about it. It's not necessarily a weight, but this like pulling, this curiosity that you have, this like you can see yourself doing this thing, whether that's wild foraging around your cabin in the woods or living in a tree house or opening a bakery and whatever it is, this thing that you are excited about. We've been talking a lot about that this year. And a lot of you did the thing. Like you did the brave thing back in like March-ish and went for it. But not all of us did it, right? Or you went for something, like you stepped forward. But this card is talking about like very recently, you've gotten this clarity with what it is, what that really looks like. So if you're like, oh, I want to live in a treehouse, you got a little bit of clarity on how that could actually happen, right? But it's scary to you. It's outside of your comfort zone. You're like, that couldn't happen to me. That's like, no way. Right? I could never live in a treehouse. I live downtown in my parents' basement, right? I don't know. Uh, but whatever this like little click that happened, and it could be that you went for it as much as you could in March, but now you've gotten this clarity about how it could be bigger, could be like better or more aligned. But that step is taking a chance. Uh, it makes you nervous, a little nervous, right? Morgana and I were just talking about how um, this year I've been talking about how this is going to be the best summer ever, like of my whole life. This is going to be the best summer of my whole life. And I was right. It is the best summer of my whole life. And so we've been talking about how I knew it was going to be, but I was surprised by what that actually looked like, what my guidance was talking about and being the best summer of my whole life. This is about you know, allowing yourself to be surprised at how well it could work out, right? Allowing yourself to be surprised at how like cool and abundant what abundance could look like, right? That was the conversation that we were having of like, oh, okay, well, I'm open making that declaration to the universe. I'm open to being surprised at how awesome it could be, right? Just when I think it's the best it could be, it just gets better and better. And but that requires a very special relationship with the unknown. And it requires you being in a position to make the moves uh, when they come to you, right? Because opportunities will come to you. And whether or not you're in a position to actually like do that, or if you're like too afraid to engage with whatever it is, like that's more what this is about. Anyway, is there something that you were recently inspired about that has to do with how you want to live your life? This could also be you being inspired to be more engaged politically, or this could be you being inspired to start a nonprofit, or this could, I mean, it really could be anything. Because wherever you go, you're bringing the medicine of your lineage and all of the work that you're doing internally right now. And so like it doesn't matter what you do, you're going to benefit the whole with this calling. It's important. It's important that you do this thing. Okay. This like personal thing with these personal goals of this, right? Sometimes those of us with raging ADHD get inspired like this and we're like, I want to do it now. I'm going to do it now and go all in. We've got this like all or nothing kind of thing going on. And the Two of Wands isn't necessarily about that, about the like jumping, just leaping and going for it. It's also about like strategic planning a little bit. It's making decisions that are aligned with what you're the direction that you're wanting to make. It's not necessarily so. Okay. So there's that. Now we got to look at what we're in resistance to or in denial of that's influencing our ability to step out of our comfort zone to kind of course correct right now. Like the course you're on is great, but it could be better, but it's going to require you to get a little bit outside of your comfort zone. Taking a chance you wouldn't normally take. The King of Wands, man. This is like the third time this guy has shown up in my cards in the last like 3 days. Big King of Wands energy going on. This is what you're in resistance to or in denial of that's influencing your ability to get out of your comfort zone. And from the prompt and go from there. Is my sound still going? All right, let's do this. For those of you just joining me, this is the first time I've gone live in our brand new recording studio. So, brand new recording studio that the paint hole inside of the studio is painted with paint that has crushed Amazonite and rose quartz in it. So there's some adjustments. Clearly, I need to make some adjustments. And again, this is a 200-year-old farmhouse that is very active, very, very active. So I'm going to read from the card and try to stay focused. The King of Wands is a natural-born leader of people and very capable and confident in their abilities. The king isn't interested in creativity per se, but rather taking an idea and enlisting others to help in the actualization of it. You have a clear vision of what you want. And then the reverse is, why don't we tug on those reins a bit? You're being brash and abrasive, and your impulsive behavior is about to get you into trouble. There's certainly nothing wrong with knowing what you want, but you're towing the line of selfishness, and it's getting out of control. Reel it in. So what does that mean to you? Remember that this represents what you're in resistance to or in denial of that is influencing your ability to kind of get out of your comfort zone. I'm letting you brew on it before I go influencing you because boy, howdy, do I want to influence you about this. You ready? So let's talk about this idea you have. Let's talk about this idea you have. What was it? What was it? How has it changed in the last like 3 months? What new information did you get? Because whatever you're like supposed to be doing is bigger than what you yourself are capable of doing on your own. In order for you to do this, which again needs to be done, it's needed. You're right about that. You're right that it's important. Even if what that is a freaking basket weaving class, whatever this thing you're being nudged about is important, right? And it's connected to something that you are going to have to look at your relationship with working with others, with enlisting others to help in the actualization of whatever this dream is that you have. Again, this dream is very important. How do you feel about working with others? And if you are in resistance to or in denial of, like, you need help, you stubborn witch, you. Yes, we're a bunch of overachievers, gold star clutching overachievers. But your resistance to enlisting the help of others is what is keeping you from being able to embrace the fullness of what this path actually has for you. So there. How do you feel about that? I know it's hard. I know it's hard. We've got so much trauma associated with um, like group dynamics being neurodivergent queerdos who were dynamics have been really complicated for us. And we've often been taken advantage of, or we have been underestimated, or some or worse, right? And so, like for me, I have no desire to be a leader of people, like not even a little bit. I have a PDA. I'm PDA presenting. What is it? Pathological demand for autonomy. Like it is a whole thing, guys. Um, but because I don't need to be the guy that knows, but at the same time, I have a very clear vision of what I'm here to do, and the medicine that is needed. And I would not be able to have the influence that I have without a lot of help enlisting others in the actualization of that dream. And it sounds like you might have like a similar thread in that a little bit. You can also learn how to be a leader of people in a different way. A lot of us have only been exposed to a hierarchical leadership dynamic. But if you look up servant leadership theory, it's a great place to start. Look up how to approach leadership differently. There are different ways for you to engage. You don't have to be this like dominant, egotistical bully about it. You're resistant to being that guy. You don't have to be that guy. You can still lead and not be that guy. So there. We did the reading. What do you think? I think that's pretty good. So, your homework today, should you choose to accept it, is to one, ask yourself, like, what is that thing? Because whatever this dream, this expansion of your dream or involves um, you being out of your comfort zone or stepping out of your comfort zone, ask yourself what it is. Like, what is this thing? Am I thinking too small? Right. And it doesn't have to be just one thing. You can just write down what comes to mind. It could be several things that come together later. So just let it flow from you of what is this course correction? What is this change in the way that you are going to actualize whatever it is that you're bringing into the world? And looking at your, like, one of the indicators that you're on the right track is if whatever this dream is going to require you to have help in the actualization of it. So it's good information, especially like right after a new moon like this. So Ta-da! That is our reading for the day. I don't know about you, but I actually have a pretty full day today. I am going to be meeting with the witches that are in Foundations. Foundations is our initiation process and program. Uh, and we have a meeting today that we call Sacred Space. It is where we get to talk about the moon focus. This is the stepping into, or actually, this is stepping into what the patient moon. This is a patient moon. And the patient moon is looking at our relationship with our coping skills, coping mechanisms, and looking at what is under our reach. And when we reach for coping mechanisms and coping strategies. So it's a great conversation. So we just sit and we get to talk about it. And yeah, really excited about it. I took almost 3 years off from engaging in with the new brooms through Foundations because I was focusing on writing the grimoire and working on refining the curriculum, refining and expanding the curriculum for Foundations uh, so that we can get some really powerful witches through here, because my agenda is outlined in the grimoire of the ungovernable. But in a nutshell, I want to see what an international coven of neurodivergent witches is capable of when we do this very specific deconstruction, decolonization, and all of that work as our foundation to our practice. Anyway, yeah, that's what I got going on today. Start harvest season here at the homestead. We're going to be processing zucchini and broccoli this weekend. So we're preparing for that as well. Big times. And that's it. That's our reading. That's our reading for the day. We've got big announcements coming in the next few weeks. So keep your ear to the ground. We're about to launch a print on demand series of the curriculum that we use in our initiation process. We're making it available to the public, and we've packaged it in a way that is easily processed by neurodivergent Black sheep cycle breaking queerdos. It looks like an interactive like junk journal day planner that helps witches document or to create a magical practice that is aligned with their specific and unique connection to magic, as well as begin this process of repairing your relationship with your life and your magical practice. And that's set to be available, launching in October. And it is beautiful, like beautiful. So there. Yeah. Yeah. I will see you guys later in about like an hour. In an hour is the sacred space meeting. So let's close out this working. Put your hand on your heart and take a deep breath. This working is now closing, but the magic has just begun. I humbly thank the elements and both the moon and sun. To all who chose to bless this flow, I now sincerely thank you. May our practice be expansive and our course be clear and true. All right, witches. I will see you tomorrow at the same time if you're not going to Sacred Space. And until then, if you can't be good at it. Bye.